The ancient Hebrew scriptures foretold of the Anointed One, Yeshua HaMashiach. The Messiah Yeshua came to call the people back to the truth of His word and to follow that righteous path. Yeshua then called Jewish men to be His disciples. Now, after 2,000 years, Beth Goyim Messianic Congregation has that same calling of those Jewish men, teaching the Route 66 King's Highway from Genesis through to Revelation.
3 brief overview sections in relation to this particular parash reading. Section 1, the Torah. Section 2, how this parash fits in the New Testament.
Shalom! Shalom to all those who are watching this video. It's the bearded guy again. The long beard is getting more gray each and every day. Why? I don't know why. Well, gray means that you got a crown of glory. So I guess I'll keep my crown of glory. Shalom, everybody watching The Road to Emmaus. This is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman once again coming to you from Beth Goyim Messianic Congregation, located right outside here of New York City. Okay, today we're going to be doing RTE400 L018 Matthew 5 again, verses 23 to 25. This one is called the gifts. The gifts. So if you are offering your gift at the temple altar, and you remember there that your brother has something against you, leave your gift where it is by the altar, and go make peace with your brother. Then come back and offer your gift. If someone sues you, come to terms with him quickly, while you and he are on the way to court. Or he may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the officer of the court, and you may be thrown in jail. Now we're going to be looking at 2 parts of this. First, we look at the altar. Well, what is an altar? Well, there's no temple right now, so there is no physical altar for your offer. Sometimes it's a tongue twister. Okay, but the altar, where is it located now, since the temple is not a physical temple at the moment? Well, we read in 2 Peter that you are the temple of Yehovah, that the Ruach HaKodesh dwells in you. So your altar is, let's say, your heart, a place where you keep things special. It's not physically our heart, because our heart is a muscle that pumps blood and keeps our lives going. Oh, or is it more our heart? Because if you're not following the Torah of God, and you're saying that we don't have to do it, then what is on your altar? Is it something that is defiling your altar? Something that is not correct? Now, this follows the part we did in the previous message about anger and murder. Are you killing yourself by what you're putting on your altar? So here, you can't bring a gift to the altar if you got a problem with somebody. Now, Yeshua then speaks after the altar about these terms of an agreement, about terms that you're going to court with somebody, about terms about a judge that's going to throw you in jail. Now, why is that important to understand? That has to do with the altar. Well, you get that understanding if you turn to Deuteronomy 20. Deuteronomy 20, verse 10 through 13. Deuteronomy 20, verse 10 through 13. When you advance on a town to attack it, first offer it terms for peace. If it accepts the terms for peace and opens its gates to you, then all the people there are to be put to forced labor and work for you. However, if they refuse to make peace with you, but prefer to make war against you, you are to put it under siege. When Yehovah your Elohim hands it over to you, you are to put every male to the sword. terms of peace. What would be these terms of peace? Well, as we've been going through the book of Matthew, chapter 5, the Beatitudes, the blessings, the curses, we've been looking at what Jehovah wants us, the believer, to do, which he has always wanted, us to follow his commandments. What are the terms for peace with Jehovah? What are these terms for peace? Well, simple. Love your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. What does that mean? It means 613. 613 commandments, broken into 34 categories. And no, you don't have to follow all 613, because if you're a man, the laws for a woman don't apply to you. If you're single, the laws for married don't apply for the single person. And so on. So what are the terms for peace? Well, peace with whom? Well, peace with the King of Kings. How do we make peace with the King of Kings? He's offering us terms of peace before he puts a siege on the world. If your head is in the sand and your butt's sticking in the air, you may not have noticed things that have been going on. Earthquakes, famines, tsunamis. All the Pacific Ocean is radioactive right now because of the tsunami that the Lord sent after a great earthquake. Many earthquakes throughout the globe, more so now than ever before. Israel is surrounded by her enemies. And any Christian that says that Israel doesn't belong in the land, well, you might not want to follow the King of the Jews, since he only came for the Jews. What are these terms of peace? Well, the terms of peace are very simple to find. If you read Deuteronomy 28, he says, follow these 14 verses, and then you don't get these curses that follow thereafter. Terms of peace. Terms of peace are what? Terms of peace are tied together simplistically for following the Moedim. Turn to Exodus 34, verse 24 to 27. For I'm going to expel nations ahead of you and expand your territory, and no one will even covet your land when you go to appear before Jehovah your Elohim 3 times a year. You are not to offer the blood of my sacrifices with leavened bread, and the sacrifice of the feast, Pesach, it is not to be left until morning. You are to bring the first fruits of your land to the house of Jehovah your Elohim. You are not to boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Jehovah said to Moshe, write these words down, because they are the terms of the covenant I made with you and with Israel. Terms of the covenant. Terms of the covenant are tied together with following the holy days, like Shabbat, like Passover, Feast of Matzah, Bikurim, Shavuot, as you know as Pentecost, First Fruits, Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. Yes, the terms of peace are those. Follow them and be in heaven, and don't go to jail, which is hell.
The ancient Hebrew scripture foretold of the Anointed One, the Melech Yisrael, King of Israel, the Sar Shalom, Prince of Peace. Now, 2,000 years after the destruction of the Holy Temple in Israel, Jewish believers are once again telling Jew and Gentile about the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus. Come out to Beth Goyim, House of the Nations, where Jew and Gentile worship Yeshua as one people. So it was in the beginning, so too shall it be in the end of days. Come out every Shabbat, Saturday, the Lord's Day, at 11 a.m. for Messianic worship and the Word from a truly biblical perspective. Once again, thanks again for tuning in to the Remnant's Call, in the name above any and all other names, Yeshua HaMashiach. Shalom.